All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Final game of the night, Option 12 versus 9 Lives. To cap off this final game, we do not have a champ select for you due to recording issues. Just write an angry letter. Um, but before we go into the game, I do just want to thank all of our Twitch Prime subs and just all of our Twitch viewers in general who are watching live right now. This obviously has gone much later than it normally does. Well, maybe not that much later, give or take half an hour or something like that. Um, it seems as though we may actually be getting a champ select. Someone is throwing notifications at me, but obviously, Twitch Prime subs and other sort of help do not help us when Riot decides to not have spectator mode running, but it does help us make the music we have now, some of the custom icons, all that other stuff, really helps us out quite a lot to try to move the LCUS forward in a positive direction. So thank you to everyone at Twitch Prime subs. Those of you who do not, feel free to do so if you are able to. Um, and if you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe so you can check out some videos, get some views on there, and help us along as well. Um, so we may have a chap select incoming while we're waiting to see if that pans out. Jeff, what do you think Nine Lives will do differently in this game too?
Well, I would certainly suggest taking away the Anivia. Wismakis was very, very effective on that champion. Not to take anything away from Ash away, but the Dark Bindings that were landing were, that was all good and, great. But it was more the follow-up on the Dark Bindings that was really hurting Nine Lives. They would get caught by a Dark Binding, and then there'd be a Flash Frost in the air just in time to chain the CC,
Hmm.
and then there was a big icicle that would kill someone. So I would certainly expect the Anivia to be a priority to either pick it away or ban it away.
Yeah, Nine Lives will be getting first pick in this second game, so they could theoretically grab Anivia if they wanted to. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think noting that the follow up was the big deal isn't even taking anything away from Ashway because that's how supports work. Uh, you throw down the CC and you get that working out. Do you think we're going to see Ivern in a second time?
I mean, it worked very well, so I wouldn't be surprised. Option 12 is a team that we've seen in the past. They're not prideful. They're not trying to show off. If something worked and you don't take it away from them, they'll just do it to you again. They're perfectly happy to do so.
All right, and also, do you think the Jacks will get through again? Obviously, it didn't make that big of an impact in game one, but do you think that option 12, having experienced it a little bit, may respect it, or do you think they'll just let it go through?
I mean, once again, I feel like it's always sort of a situation where you see how things are moving along in the champ select and the ban phase. Frankly, for option 12, I think that they'll respect Nebulon's Jax. I mean, he was in a position where he was very powerful in that game, but it never really felt like that game was out of option 12's control.
Hmm.
So if the draft is looking the same, I think that they'll be perfectly willing to let Nebulon play that Jax again if they end up getting the same things as well.
Yeah, I would agree. With allegedly the champ select coming, we'll just hang out for another few moments here. See if we do manage to get that worked out. Um, but while we're working on that, let's take another look. I'm getting a URL here. Let's take a look at the standings real quick here once again. So now we have the setup here. We have Phoenix is with 10 points, but option 12 now has 11. So Nine Lives is now fighting to either be in third or second place, depending how the tiebreakers work with Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
or else be tied there with Blitzkrieg for either third or fourth place. Based on how it's set up here, I'm going to say it'll be for fourth place. Um, but obviously these may not necessarily be in order. But Nine Lives, like you said, it's for positioning. Interesting to see. Um, okay, I have a link here. I am opening the link. This is all very exciting. Give me a moment. It looks as though it may just be a readout to what the draft was, so that potentially we can tell you good people at the very least. You know how we have all these wonderful League of Legends digital resources that allow us to recreate all these various things. but it's taking a long time to load. I think I'm going to shoot it to myself on Discord as well while we wait, if I can. All right. So, but yeah, like I said, thank you everyone for staying up as late. Those of you who are still in the Twitch chat, I'm not looking at it right now. Um, but I know it's been a long night. Hopefully, you guys are sticking around to look forward to this last game. And if you're not, hello YouTube. All right. Hey, it turns out that my desktop is far faster loading things than my phone is.
That makes sense.
At least it should be. It shows the option 12 and 9 lives loaded up, but it's not showing where they actually did, which is interesting. I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. All right. It does not appear to be working. And I'm sure that there's some frustration from the people who threw that together that it isn't apparently working. But I'll give it one more shot here, and then we're just going to go into the game. Let our imagination run wild.
Plenty of things that have not worked tonight. So, what's one more?
Yeah. All right. So once again, okay. Yes, I've been sent a picture. Excellent. We're gonna do this. We're going to save this. Yes. We are going to Discord this. Yes. We are going to download this. Come on. Yes. And then we are going to pull this up in a really crummy looking way.
Well,
It'll
it
be
looks to me like
here.
Nine Lives.
Here we go. Blow it up for you folks. There it is. All right.
Yeah, Nine Lives did take away the Anivia.
And the
But the
Zillion
rest
for that
of
matter.
yeah, and the rest of option 12's composition is the same except with Cassiopeia instead of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
And on the side of Nine Lives, let's see, relatively similar, I guess. No, not so much.
No Jax. Went for the
Yeah,
Nocturne instead.
Jax was not banned away. They just opted into the Nocturne. And you got Brandan on the Kaisa, Burgersaurus on Lulu. So a lot of late game potential there for that
I like the
hyper carry that Kaisa is.
I like the Galio pick, even though I believe it was probably picked before the Cassiopeia. I think that his shield will work well against Cassiopeia's chip damage.
Yeah, Galio plays pretty well into Cassiopeia, and also with the heroic entrance can join the Nocturne in the backline. Nocturne can sort of be like a little fairy that Galio can tag himself to.
Hmm.
So a lot of backline access there. And even the Rumble doesn't really have a gap closer per se, but Equalizer is such a long range ability that there is a lot of threat on the backline of option 12 in this game.
And also, just to point out there, that there aren't really there's 1.5 tanks on 9 lives. I guess depending on how Galio builds.
Hmm.
Whereas option 12 still doesn't really have any true tanks beyond Poppy. So we'll see how that kind of goes.
Yeah, it looks to me like, option 12, they had the Anivia banned away, but otherwise they were able to pretty much play the same thing. And Cassiopeia is a little bit similar to Anivia, with a lot of zone control with the Miasma. Doesn't really have the Flash Frost equivalent, but Petrifying Gaze can do something similar, just much less often. And
Hmm.
lots of damage to come out. Lots of strong scaling damage. So option 12, they probably feel confident, but Nine Lives, I do like this draft better as a counter compared to their game one composition.
All right. So with that in mind, we will go into the last game of the night. I'm gonna scroll down here so that we get to the right overlay, and we'll go at 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last Nero skin of the regular season of this particular split. Once again, uh, 9 lives lacking a lot of skins.
Yeah, I think option 12 wins it by default. Nothing against their skins. I think their skins are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Kaisa
But
and
even if
Rumble
they weren't, they would win.
kind of got a match there. Wicked Lulu, um, really good there as well. I managed to pause during Nar's intro music, so that's obnoxious. I'm on 4 seconds. I don't know where you managed to drop in.
I'm already at 15.
Okay,
So,
so I'll go to 15 and it'll be great.
woo.
All right, so I am going to 1 second here, folks. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna hit this button. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna stop. All right, 15 seconds. You said.
Yep.
All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Excellent. All right, here we go. Last game.
Props to Kenos, doing every game of the evening, dealing with the technical issues.
Props
Can't give
to
it up.
our listeners for sticking around if they have. We may be talking to an empty chat room. I don't know. But nice. I would call this defensive posturing from option 12 here. Keeping an eye out on every single possible avenue bot lane could get hit from. But 9 Lives doesn't seem to be being very aggressive.
Yeah, I would think once again, option 12, they have to feel good about their chances if they can just not fall behind early. Champion like Nocturne is inherently just so snowbally. And add on a Galio dropping in on top of you, an Equalizer dropping in on top of you. You don't want to fall behind at 12. So taking up defensive positions, just trying to get a standard start.
Yeah, we'll see if Nebuline is able to go off again. Had some trouble with it as Jax, but like you said, there's a lot more potential for an aggressive opening once you hit 6, which could lead to a snowballing situation.
Yeah, that first ultimate from a Nocturne is always so important in a game because it is a very long cooldown, and the champion is so somewhat neutered without that paranoia.
Well, we'll see if they're able to do it. Hickey, meanwhile, is a melee champion fighting a ranged champion, which is always kind of a problem. But I'm sure Galio's up to the task.
Shoves in the first wave pretty aggressively. Ashaway first Dark Binding doesn't land. Good job from 9Lives just sort of splitting off there.
It's always interesting to me, people who play champions with multiple different skins. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times today already with, multiple plays. But it's like, how do you decide just what you're feeling? Oh, I'm feeling like a Vine Dead Angel today.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes it's, you're trying to coordinate with your team even.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe worrying a lot about that Nero skin showdown.
Two Rumbles today as well, so we've been seeing a lot of off-color picks.
Yeah, nothing against our last one, but I would love to see some really, really good equalizers in this game because it's just such an exciting, high skill capability. Nebulon coming in for an early game, kind of great here to poach. But actually, Prowler is here too. Flashes for the root caller. Not sure if that was necessary. Ended up missing it. And so a slight early advantage to 9Lives as Ashaway lands another Dark Binding in the bottom lane.
I do think a lot of that was more just a statement of intent. Obviously, it would have been good if the binding landed like it does there on top lane. But at the same time, just announcing your presence can be enough to disrupt a gank.
So overall, things looking pretty even across the map right now.
Ace with a slight CS advantage this time as opposed to the disadvantage he had earlier.
And Gregor Source is out of potions down here, so if another Dark Binding lands and they're able to get a lot more chip damage onto this Lulu, it could be disruptive.
Prowler just kind of casually strolls through mid lane, doesn't land any bindings. He's been missing, honestly, a lot of his entanglements or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the root caller. Saw him land a lot of them last game, so maybe he just has to warm the engine back up.
We do have the Nocturne being a little invadey. We'll see what happens here. Interesting that he's trying to gank pre-6.
Yeah, this is the second one. Gets the fear down. Hickey, though, won't get in range for the taunt.
Oh, here
And
comes the
now you
Ivern.
have Prowler making a move in the bottom lane. Brandana has to flash away from the root caller that time. And Gregosaurus will walk away.
So junglers aren't being, I mean, they're being effective in that they're putting the Fear of God into people, but they aren't actually securing any kills. So neither jungler is really falling that far behind because of this.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen one flash burned on each team so far. Prowler's was sort of an aggressive flash, whereas Brandana's was purely defensive.
Ooh, another binding lands.
Yeah, Ashaway just feeling good with the aim in this game.
Very, very sniper.
And like we said, 9 lives, the bottom lane is out of potions. They've been shipped down, but there isn't enough gold in the pockets of Brandana to get a good purchase here. So they're sort of forced just off this wave. They have to call Nebulon down for some help. Even if they don't get a kill here, they just want some safety to farm up this wave. Prowler's on the way, though.
Yeah, Brandana's in a lot of trouble here. Fortunately, manages to not get caught in that binding.
Yeah, the Dark Binding or Root Caller lands, though, and actually uses the heal there. Not sure if that was for the movement speed or just the health or both. But that's both summoners down on the Kaisa.
Hero minion catches one of Ashaway's bindings.
And that's really clever brush placement by Prowler there. Just makes it that much scarier for Brandana to step up and try to get any of that CS.
Well, we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, CB Hickey very low on mana. About the same where Ashaway and Ace are. Top lane, Odin and Huge just trading back and forth. Huge up a little bit on CS, but that's of course thanks to just Rumble's AoE.
This is such a difficult situation for 9 lives. Actually, they get another binding, and there was still nothing to save Gregosaurus there. Ashaway with another snipe. Marcus almost picks up another kill in the mid lane.
Fortunately for
Had flash available, just decided not to use it there.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have ended up dying with Nebulon right there. Nebulon, 75% needed still for 6, 50% now. So should get 6 soon, and then we'll see what he's able to do. Dramatic pose there from Sivir as she teleports away.
An incredibly impressive showing from Option 12's bot lane there. Just basically carving out this gold advantage all by themselves.
Nice little blue steal there from the Ivern. Eating a lot of cookies. Alright, we're going to stop talking about recall animations now, and we are going to see how top lane's doing. 52-52, very nice. Always nice to see two top laners just kind of respecting each other.
Just letting each other live life until a skirmish goes down that they both try to teleport to. And all bets are off.
Yeah, it's always different when you got somebody who you're worried about, real worried about the CS, like a Nasus or something like that.
Yeah, well, Marcus has a blue buff now, so that's going to be extra difficult for the life of Hickey. He was down flash. Pretty much everything
Nebulon coming around behind.
is tilted in the favor of Option 12 right now. Yeah, Nebulon, there's the first paranoia. Immediate flash from Marcus. A lot of respect there.
Yeah, I don't really like that just because it was so close range. Could have literally just walked up to him. It seemed like more like a paranoia for the sake of drama than anything else. Obviously there's some damage that goes into it too, but you know, I think actually the walking might have helped because then they would have blown the flash anyway and could have come back later.
Yeah, and your point is well proven almost immediately because Nebulon comes down towards the bottom lane, and if that paranoia had been available, may have had a good angle to get in onto Ashaway, but instead gets spotted by the ward and getting coiled.
Good knock-up by Daisy there, but unfortunately not able to make too much happen.
Hero Daisy.
Poor Hickey's going to be getting picked on a lot here, but doing pretty well with it.
Yeah, we haven't seen a heroic entrance yet.
Rotation
Marcus
here.
is-
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a Drake rotation or... Not sure. Option 12, though, they Have to be feeling good about their power in this bottom lane.
Ooh. Good route there. See if Nebulan's able to get out. Big stun. There's a
There's the
heroic.
heroic entrance. Yep.
I think he thinks about doing the taunt, but backs off. Very interesting. A lot of half health positioning going on here. So option 12 feeling pretty good here, I'm sure. Not up by that much, but it feels as though 9 Lives is a little scared.
Yeah, I think it's once again, you know, what we saw last game where it's much more fun for option 12, or oh my goodness, another binding catches onto Gregosaurus, forced to use the wild growth to keep himself alive. But it's another situation where for 9 Lives it was more important to get up early, and they haven't been able to. So option 12 being up early just feels like a double whammy.
I really do like this Sivir Morgana combo. The binding lands and then Sivir can throw a boomerang right there. They have a similar range.
And you know it's going to catch both sides of the boomerang, too, the way out and the way back. So a lot of damage.
Yeah, next Paranoia is available, so we'll see if this one goes a little bit better for Nebulon. But Huge and Great Beard Voden still beating on each other up in the top lane. Not much going on there. Prowler just wanders through. Hey everyone. I'm a tree. Goodbye. Alright, Hickey, of course, must at least have some inkling that Prowler's still there. Yep. But Brandana's hanging out too. This is an interesting position for the ADC. Looks like thinking of recalling, Prowler's going to run right... Oh, yep. Just... I don't know how he knew it was there. Maybe he spied him earlier. That Brandana has to walk back. Losing a lot of CS by doing some of these hijinks. Down about 20 right now in that bot lane.
Nebulon's come from behind on the Great Beard of Odin, but oh, the Keeper's Verdict finds both of them. Well done from the option 12 top laner.
Yeah, Odin's been doing really good with those double knockbacks.
Yeah, that's the second one we've seen at least. Maybe there's even more.
Oh, here we go. This is...
Hickey gets the taunt in onto Marcus. There is no flash available. Equalizer actually was placed interestingly from Huge, but it doesn't matter. They do get the kill onto the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I think it was just based on Huge's position there. Wasn't really able to get a great angle on it. Might have been able to close off an escape route, but I think they just wanted to make sure the damage was done.
Sure. Oh boy, another binding lands onto Brandana. Immediate shield from Gregosaurus will deter any follow-up, but once again, 9 Lives, they're just getting pushed off of this turret. They just can't farm safely. It's just a slow death. Nebulon is in the area, does not have Paranoia available. There goes the ult from Sivir, trying to run away. Ashaway pops the stopwatch right away. Meanwhile, Ace just trying to deal enough damage to save his support, deter them, but he ends up going down himself.
Alright, 9 Lives is getting the momentum back now. This is what they needed to get back into this game. 600 gold lead, going for the dragon. Should be able to get it.
Yeah, that was well done from 9 Lives. At the same time, it almost felt like a bit of hubris from option 12. They did both have flash available. You would think at least one of them could have gotten that out of that situation. They tried to turn and fight.
Here comes Poppy.
Now 9 Lives. Yeah, they may have overstepped here. Marcus does get caught by the taunt, but 9 Lives, they don't go for it right away. Gregosaurus extremely low, drops to the poison. Marcus, though, can he limp away? One more shield will keep him alive. Brandana solo flashes into a brush. Now it's a showdown with Marcus. The Twin Fang finishes it off. Nebulon trying to finish off Great Beard of Odin. He will get the kill, but now Ace and Ashaway, they have gotten back to the fight. CB Hickey is extremely low, ignited. Low on mana, barely anything to help flash from Ace with the last auto attack, and now Nebulon may get run down as well. Option 12, they have the angle. Paranoia jumps back in, actually onto Ashaway. The damage isn't there, though. That's a double kill for Ace.
Ooh, very close on Ashaway, 40 hit points. A little surprised didn't go on the Ivern instead.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm not sure if maybe he didn't have vision of the Ivern at that exact moment. In any case, option 12, they storm back right away. Option 9 Lives, they got those 2 kills, but give it right back. Ace getting burned down by Huge. There's a nice equalizer. Not only lands on him, but forces him away from any sort of help. A shutdown for the Rumble.
And there's some of that overconfidence you were talking about as well. Rumble just absolutely reminding Ace that he's still playing a really squishy ADC.
Yeah, and I mean, Huge is strong in this game. 112 CS at 14 minutes. I believe he has a level advantage on Ace as well. So, yeah, certainly the Sivir sticking around too long
Yeah, 10 to 8. Sivir batting a little too high up the weight class there.
there.
Prowler, meanwhile, continues to make friends. Regosaurus going around. Lismachus, I would not be looking to find somebody at 3/4 health or thing. And 9 lives goes for this dragon again. We'll get it this time.
Second time's the charm. They pick up the cloud.
I believe they got a cloud last time too, so definitely will. Well, as we said last time, will help Nebulon with his roaming.
Option 12, they are setting up some sort of play around the top lane. Huge, pretty far forward, does have Flash available, but the Ivern is there, and Cassiopeia is coming as well. Root Collar forces out a Flash, a trade.
Right. They do have the friendly crab available here. Not sure if they're going to go for this Herald or not. This looks as though we're going to get a bit of an engage down here. Meanwhile, the bot laners should be able to get this turret, I would think. They've got Brandana and Gregosaurus on their back foot. No fight at the Herald yet. Ace taking advantage of the spell immunity and pops ult.
Oh, wow, yeah, they are looking for this.
Yeah, they're not going to get it.
I don't think they'll catch anything, though. Ashway, no Flash to get in there for the Soul Shackle.
Good route, though.
Binding lands again onto Gregosaurus, though. Boomerang Blade. Brandana just trying to zone for his support. But Soul Shackles are going to land, and the Kaisa has no choice but to go in with the Killer Instinct. There goes Nebulon trying to turn the fight around. Brandana stays alive. What a fight from 9 lives.
Good rotation there by Nebulon making that happen.
That was great game sense from Brandana, knowing that he wasn't going to be able to get away from those Soul Shackles, just decided to go with the Killer Instinct, put it all on the line, and it pays off.
And that, everyone, is why Lulu gets banned. Once again, we're all learning a lot from these two games here. Last game we had a case study in turret aggro, and now we have a Lulu getting banned 101. Lismachus
Stock of things right now, we're basically tied.
Yeah.
In gold.
Tied in gold, that turret making the difference for option 12. Lismachus starting to do a lot more damage. Galio really needs to start respecting that a little bit more.
Yeah, no magic resist yet on the side of CB Hickey, building towards that Rod of Ages, and has the Sorcerer's Shoes.
Ooh, Binding almost lands there. Option 12, I'm getting kind of White Wolf vibes from option 12 this game, where they're really prioritizing objectives over all else.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that is in a very loose way just the right way to play the game. So, you know, option 12, they're playing to their strengths. We talk about them as a meta-focused team, or excuse me, a macro-focused team. Good in their rotations. They get another turret there. Boost their gold lead up to near 1,000.
Ocean Drake will be the next Drake to come up. Also will help with some roaming if it comes down to it. Ashray might be in a little bit of trouble here. I think too far forward, especially because there's a collapse coming. Ace should not be recalling there, especially with no wards available, but it doesn't seem as though she's gonna get punished for it. Very close.
Yeah, no vision on Ace recalling there, otherwise I'm sure 9 lives would have pulled the trigger.
Prowler just throwing out them roots. Poppy all alone in the top lane. Great Beard of Odin, I'm sure, happy to get this farm to catch up. Currently 700 gold behind Rumble. Huge doing a very good job with that splash damage. And now Prowler is all alone in the mid lane.
Yeah, and they jump in immediately. Paranoia popped, everything popped. The taunt lands as well. So Prowler just maybe not on the same page as his team there, knowing with no one else around. It was a little risky. Huge gets caught out initially, but able to scrap shield himself away. But Ace doesn't even care. He's just going to go right onto the turret. Equalizer comes down. A lot of burn onto the Sivir.
Ace keeps spell shielding, and that doesn't seem to work against the flamethrower. So I think he should stop doing that. I'm sure it's a reflex. You know, it's just something where a spell's being used against me, but it's not working. So save your long cooldown protection for something else.
interesting. The team's just completely vertically splitting the map here. 9 lives. They knew option 12 were going top, so instead of trying to make any sort of counterplay, they just say, well, we'll just take bottom.
And we'll see if they want to keep going about it. Hickey was thinking about going up, but it looks as though they're perfectly fine with just splitting the map here. Ivern is there to hold the line. Huge should be as well, but he's at half health. He doesn't want to go in like this.
Yeah, he's half health and he has no equalizer.
Wow, this is a really interesting use of Rift Herald here.
Yeah, they're going to get a hit onto an inhibitor turret, I believe. Daisy goes down. Or excuse me, sorry, I was confused. You're right. It was so interesting that I made an incorrect assumption. The Rift Herald used... Maybe it was about to expire?
Possible it was about to expire, but it also did kind of delay 9 lives.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten about half health off of that inhibitor turret now. Did option 12. 9 lives finally recalling.
Lismakis gets pinged, but should be able to get this turret. 2 more autos. 1 more auto. Alright, so if I'm
out +1 overall in that turret trade.
Gold lead's still under 1,000. If I'm option 12 here, first I'm telling Lismakis to leave. But I'd also like to see more wards on Dragon, because Dragon's about to spawn. They don't really have anything there. They barely have anything on Baron. Just ward coverage in general is not great. Mostly not great for 9 lives. But both teams could use more.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen 9 lives since they were the ones on the bottom half of the map. Maybe before recalling coming out and putting some wards down, but I didn't actually check. Maybe they were all warded out at that point. Regisaurus comes back and does get one down, but it's immediately cleared and there's no one else from the team anywhere near this dragon. Glitterlance Steel is not quite good enough. And option 12, pick up the Ocean Drake.
Alright, now hopefully they just head out there and don't get caught. Looks as though that's what they're trying to do here. Dropping some wards in the bushes would have been nice, but I don't think that 9 lives is rotating around at this moment.
So at this point, I mean, Baron has spawned, and we just got Dragon off the map. So it'll be interesting to see where these teams prioritize. Because there aren't going to be neutral objectives to fight for unless, I think it would be option 12 who might make an aggressive call, but I wouldn't expect them to.
Ivern in a little trouble there. Sacrifices his cupcake critter to get away.
Daisy, no.
And Ace rotates to mid after creating a big wave in bot, which will get a little damage on this turret.
Yeah, I would like to have seen Huge actually go towards that bottom lane as opposed to being on the top half of the map right now. With teleport available, go clean up that wave, and the rest of the team could pressure top right now because you still have an outer turret to pick up out there, and it's pretty low.
Yeah, they do have Nebulon sent down to clean that up after about half damage dealt to the turret. I think if option 12 push anymore here, they're going to die in a really painful way.
Yeah, you do see Nebulon in range with that Paranoia. It's level 2 now, which is even longer range. But 9 lives not pulling the trigger. Greatbeard of Odin does have teleport available, could potentially join.
I do like this back off from option 12. I think they got the same feeling that I did, that they were going to get collapsed on pretty quick, and they may still have this happen.
Yeah, Huge could create great equalizer. That's what we've been waiting for onto 3 members, but they don't have the vision to get Nebulon in there with the Paranoia, so all of option 12 just able to walk away despite being roasted down. 9 lives, they have that bush control. Looks like they're just...
Yeah, option 12, you need to fall back right now. You're all at half health. You're up against a full team. Ace just left. Get out of there.
Yeah, frankly, I am stunned that 9 lives didn't decide to pull the trigger there.
I think it comes, again, once to that confidence thing. I'm not sure if they're that certain of themselves. But I think that they should be more certain of themselves. I think that they have a lot of good opportunities here. I think that option 12, while they have managed to back out of a couple of very scary situations, they still are being a little too aggressive, I guess is just the term. I was trying to find a different word for it, but aggressive.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think that they certainly were in a position there where they could and arguably should have been punished for walking through that blue side jungle the way that they did. 9 lives just You know, initially I think Nebulon didn't have the vision to dash in Paranoia in right on top of that equalizer, but they certainly had an opening to follow up on it a few seconds later.
Oop, Hickey manages to dodge the snare there. This is another opportunity to possibly punish. I don't know if it's the best one though. They seem kind of disoriented here. I think if 9 lives went in, they'd just get picked off one by one. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, equalizer is available again.
Lismakis does not really have a good teleport target. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would have been a good time to go in because it would have been a guaranteed 5v4. But instead, it's just really kind of passive, and they still manage to pressure option 12 away. But option 12 really doesn't seem like they want Baron here. Uh-oh.
Oh, now they go in. Ace jumped on by Nebulon, has to flash away. Respectful there. But Marcus is getting free time in the bottom lane.
Ooh, flash from Nebulon as well to get away from that binding. Or the roots, I should say.
From Prowler.
Alright, that turret does get away. Huge. Huge seems to be respecting Cassiopeia quite a bit here.
It's a dangerous proposition for a Rumble to just try to go in and roast the Cassiopeia because you have to be facing the Cassiopeia to use your primary damage ability, and if you're facing the Cassiopeia, you're going to get
here we go.
Stone. There is the ultimate from Sivia. They want this fight. Hickey goes in, gets interrupted, and goes down through the wild growth. Nebulon's on the flank, but he's just giving it up. Marcus, meanwhile, there is the fight in the bottom lane that we were expecting. The rest of 9 Lives has managed to run away, but there's Huge. He gets turned to stone. Marcus finishes it off. A dual win for option 12, and with Daisy leading the charge, the inhibitor shell will be cracked.
Yeah, I mean, good attempt by CB Hickey to try to keep that fight, try to be the wall of meat that his team needs him to be, but he just got knocked around so much he couldn't pop the taunt, he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, and with Paranoia down, Nebulon didn't have a way to instantly get in onto the backline, would have had to just sort of amble his way in. And option 12, they are pushing onto the Nexus turrets now. Yeah, you're out of minions. Probably just walk away at this point. Meanwhile, Marcus is still pressuring in the bottom lane, though.
Yeah, I think a little more aggression toward Lismakis would have been good. I would have liked to see Nebulon save that Paranoia and go in on Lismakis. Because, you know,
yeah, I agree.
Cassiopeia is not the most mobile champion in the world. Does have flash down. Not sure if they're keeping track of that. But
and you can also presumably spell shield the Petrifying Gaze.
Or if nothing else, you know, if you're attacking from 2 different sides, Petrifying Gaze can't get both of you.
Sure. Yeah, I think maybe trying to collapse down on a Marcus in a 2v1 is more advantageous than trying to jump in a 4v4, which they did initially with the Paranoia up top.
Also had a chance to grab Lismakis there, but unfortunately wasn't able to get that off either. Ocean Drake is the next Drake that's available. Ashway coming to just kind of make sure everything's all set for her team. Ace is willing to start this without Ivern's help, so we'll see if Rumble can do anything about that. Equalizer is available.
And 9 Lives, they do know about this. They are sending a few members in that direction. There's the Equalizer. It's strangely placed. And option 12 will secure that second Ocean Drake without too much trouble.
Meanwhile, Winions are streaming into 9 Lives base here. Half turret health almost there, and it will be soon. CB Hickey here to interrupt. Gonna need to interrupt, especially on that one super minion. Does manage to do that. But yeah, now we're in this weird thing where option 12 is just gonna start pushing hard against this one open inhibitor that they have here. 6k gold lead thereabouts. I do think that 9 Lives has an opportunity here. The issue is they need to like combo very well. We need to see like Nebulon go in, get Lulu ulted, and then have Galio jump on that.
Yeah.
Something of that
nature. It's going to take a dream combo for 9 Lives to turn this around. They don't have the Equalizer available right now, unfortunately, which is such a key part of their team fight. On the hunt, gets the one away, and Nebulon goes in, just desperately trying to make a play, but Ashaway with the Zonia's Hourglass will stay alive. Hickey into the front line, trying to get a big taunt. He gets 3. Ashaway forced to run away. Oh, everyone from option 12 is so low. Can 9 Lives clean this up? Brandana on the hunt. He gets 1. Looking for Prowler. So many shields comes out. Great Beard of Odin with a nice cleanup on the backside, and they will actually equalize the fight 3-3. There's the equalizer. Won't finish anyone off at the end.
All right, so that's the statement that Nine Lives needed to make. It's just unfortunate that they lost an inhibitor for it as well.
It was an incredibly close fight. You could have seen Brandana picking up 2 more kills and staying alive, certainly, but Option 12 do a pretty good job of disengaging after that massive taunt from CB Hickey.
And that's kind of what they need. The big weakness that Galio has being, I'm not going to say the soul tank, but let's call him the soul tank just for the sake of this example, is that you need an initiator so that he can use his ultimate properly. Otherwise, he doesn't really have anywhere to go. It's like a Shen ult at that point, where, you know, you're just kind of hanging out and it's not really working. And so that's why we haven't seen too many of those ults, because if, you know, there is no one to jump on, there's no way to use the ability. Obviously, there is a very tanky huge here as well, but Rumble doesn't really initiate that much without Equalizer.
Yeah, and the Rumble, while having a lot of health right now, has very little in the way of resistance. So Gregor Sword is taken extremely low just for free here. But the Rumble will melt if he gets locked up in any way. Brandana is separated from his team. They are on the hunt. The GA is going to be popped. Oh, the poor 9 Lives AD carry separated from his team. Nebulon trying to run down Prowler as revenge. Equalizer comes out, but it will not equalize everything. The kills are even. But there goes Nebulon onto the backline, looking for Ace, hunting for him. They do get him down, but he's going to get locked up by a Dark Binding from Ashaway, and they still have Marcus to deal out the damage. It's a 2-for-2 right now, but Brandana is so low that Option 12, they're just going to be able to triple inhib right now.
All 3 inhibitors have been destroyed. There's a retreat call made. Really good job by Brandana to get out of that alive, using the Guardian Angel to give him a brief pause and then flash over the inhibitor to escape.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him get away. Was watching Nebulon up on the top side kill the tree. But still, that Guardian Angel being popped is a key cooldown. And they do actually get the top lane inhibitor to come back up. So they're not going to have to deal with double super minions right now.
Well, they still are, because... Or you mean just double super minions, right?
Yeah, 2 from each lane.
Right.
All right. Is the worst.
Baron is available. There will be a 3rd Ocean Drake coming at some point. So we will see 2 wards there as well. So 9 Lives definitely keeping an eye on that Baron. It's a good idea to do so. 4.5k gold lead. But I mean, at this point, if you're Option 12, you just gotta wait like, well, I was gonna say wait 30 seconds and start Baron, but they're just doing it now.
Yeah, Huge does have teleport, so as soon as 9 Lives see this, you have to think that will channel. Here it comes. Oh my god! Wait, he teleported onto a minion in the bottom lane. So he will not be able to join the fight. Now CB Hickey goes in. There's Nebulon diving in. Ace able to stay alive for now, but he's so low and Brandana finishes it off. So 9 Lives, despite being 5v4, they are winning this fight. There's a big equalizer. Look at that. It's a quadra kill for Brandana. Will it be the penta? There it is. What a play from 9 Lives.
Yeah, really good job. Cassiopeia gets one back. Thanks, Baron. Yeah, they don't have the hit points or the damage to take out this Baron right now. They gotta get out. Seriously.
Yeah, Gregosaurus with the shields, I don't know. Actually, he might be executed for Brandana. It's up to him.
Wow.
No, they don't have it. And Huge went back to save the base, but couldn't even save it. So 9 Lives, they get the miracle play, but then just the pressure from the minions is too much. Huge went back to try to save the base. They couldn't save the turrets. And then because he went back, they didn't have the tankiness for the Baron. Oh, that hurts. Losing on both fronts, just barely.
Yeah, I mean, if I was 9 Lives, I would have gone back. Obviously, it's hard to tell the situation. Maybe you have the damage, but it's a question of damage versus durability. And if they had stayed for the Baron, they would have a half health Nexus right now. At best case scenario, a half health Nexus.
Which is honestly preferable to what they have now, which is no Baron and still an exposed Nexus.
True.
It's just an unfortunate situation where they tried to win on both fronts and lost on both.
Well, I mean...
Still, an impressive fight.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, they know they can win 4v5 now. They just need, Baron to help them.
That's true.
And I
Wasn't
mean,
necessarily a true 4v5 as Huge did show up and put down a solid equalizer at the end. But I think they would have won that fight anyways.
Baron now has got 2 kills, so he's fed.
Yep, report 9 lives for feeding Baron.
That would actually be really funny if Baron got stronger the more champions he killed. Alright, so this feels like option 12 trying to get a final push. They're sick of messing around. Hickey, though, manages to survive the first engage. Should go back and heal.
Yeah, I give option 12 credit here. It's undaunted by the fact that they just lost that fight, just willing to go right back down. Dark banding line, and then it lands onto Nebula. I'm getting all my vowels mixed up. But in the end, the Nocturne is able to limp away. Hickey actually goes in with the Justice Punch, looking for a taunt, but it doesn't land in time. There goes Nebulon. He destroys the Morgana, but that's not really the target that you need to get down. Huge doesn't have Equalizer available yet. Back comes Daisy. Ace, disciplined rotation up to the top side, just trying to get that triple and him down.
And they have it. Poppy actually managed to save Nebulon there. Kind of funny, but I don't think it's going to matter. Huge burst damage coming out here.
Gone. Yeah, there's nothing left now. 4-9 lives. They will drop. Option 12 will get the 2-0. It's a triple kill for Marcus. Looking for one more onto the Lulu. So, a slight hiccup at Baron, but otherwise a very clean series from Option 12 as they take the top seed and impressively do so.
Whew. All right, so that was that was a roller coaster of emotions at the last 2 minutes there. All right. So yeah, very impressive line of play there by Option 12, able to close out that game. For a few moments there, it never really seemed like it was in doubt, but then Nine Lives did have the capability. They just weren't able to get the openings they needed to make it work. I think they figured out what they needed to win, right toward the end there. Not even before the Baron buff, but before that first fight in the bot lane, where they really managed to push out and managed to start using the Galio ults appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was too much.
Yeah, they were just down in gold to the point where they couldn't win the fights convincingly enough. And then when they did win the fight, unfortunately, their base was in tatters to the point where you saw Huge had to go back, and they couldn't secure that Baron because of that.
All right, so I believe I have been sent the schedule here. We do have Greatbeard of Odin and Prowler in the interview lobby, so we'll do that interview first. Let's head over there. Another dual interview. We're going to have to call up White Wolf and tell them they missed out.
Congrats on the 2-0, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So where to begin? Let's talk about Ivern first. What inspired Ivern coming out?
So, earlier in the split we talked about Von Hohenheim switching to Fiddlesticks off of a joke. And Ivern was the same way too, where it was, what do you want me to play? If you don't pick anything, I'm just going to play Ivern. And Jared, of course, or Ace, didn't give a champion recommendation, so I started playing Ivern. And I've always had an affinity for champions that use pets, and I like having picks that people have no idea how to play into. Mm-hmm. So it's fun for me to use Ivern.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, and then up in that top lane, Greatbeard of Odin, they kept banning out all of your favorite guys, as they typically do. So you were working with that Poppy very well. What makes you like Poppy?
Oh, well, Poppy fills a similar role as Shen and Sion. Because it gets tanky, provides, peel, and it's honestly a pick that, all the mechanics for, like, Shen basically transition into Poppy really easily, so it's an easy champion just to play off of.
Yeah, really good ultimates in those early games, knocking away the people coming to gank you.
Thanks.
So looking ahead now, you guys, I'm not sure if you know this, I would assume so. You do secure the top spot with your performance tonight. Do you know who you play yet? And if not, who would you prefer to play?
We are very aware of who we're playing. Defeating 9 lives with the 2-0 gets us 9 lives again.
How are you feeling about that? Feeling really good after tonight?
It's nice that we were able to kind of go back and play the same strategy and not give away too much for next week. So I'm glad that we were able to stick with mostly the same champions. They banned the Anivia this second time around, but not give anything away. We have a couple other strategies that we have in place for 9 lives, and I'm glad we got to just stick with this one.
Yeah, a couple of pocket picks when they decided to ban 3 of my top laners this time.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing. Who are you going to ban out? And I'm sure everyone's thinking about what's going to come up with those sorts of bans. There was one other thing I wanted to ask. So toward the end of the game, there, 9 lives. I'm gonna use a term that might be controversial. I'm gonna say crushed. They kind of crushed there in 2 of the last major team fights. What made you guys decide, like right after that Baron engagement, just say screw it, let's end?
It's kind of, base was exposed. They lost all their towers, and we were at the point where we just needed a group of 5, and I don't think they could have team fought us, and they were just kind of filtering in those fights one at a time towards the end, where Hickey kind of just jumped in by himself and gave us an easy way to push into the Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
It is nice too when the best team fighter on both teams at the end was the Baron. So we died 5-4 because Baron's on their team, and then Baron's a bro and switches teams at the end to help us out.
Yeah, I was suggesting that Baron gets stronger for a champion he kills. What do you think about that?
Well, since we basically all did into him, he'd have a dual pentakill?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, as long as he's on my team, I don't care.
All right, excellent. You got anything else for him, Jeff?
No, congrats on the 2-0, guys. It was fun to watch.
All right. So since you guys know you're going up against 9 lives and you did just beat him 2-0, you want to say anything to him?
I think 9 lives played an incredible game, and the first game kind of snowballed out of control, but the second game, you really saw them adapt to the comp, and I think that shows their resilience. The 2-0 was not as close as the scoreboard suggests.
Yeah, well, I say they shouldn't get too comfortable with what they saw tonight, because we definitely do have some pocket picks just waiting for them. We had to pull it out.
All
I
right.
do want to ask, actually, one last thing. Since we know you're playing 9 lives, that means we know it's Phoenix and Blitzkrieg on the other side. Any predictions on that one?
Ooh, that game, I think it's going to be bloody. It's going to be just a mess on both sides here of just big team fights, I think.
There's few games I'm looking forward to more than watching Phoenix and Blitzkrieg battle it out.
All right.
Sounds
Excellent.
good.
Well, see you guys next week, and congratulations on the 2-0.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Man.
All right. So with that, as you heard, we do have option 12 and 9 lives, which will be the first set of games next week, and then Phoenix Blitzkrieg. So Phoenix very happy, I'm sure, that they're going up against Blitzkrieg as they said they wanted to. Thank you all for sticking around. Late night. Hopefully the spectator mode will be back next week. If not, we've messed around with this before. We can mess around with it again. So yeah, just have a great night. Jeff, last word.
Thanks for staying up, guys. Those of you who did.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.